Not a good sign. But thank
how CW is double farming both the gold lane as well as the mid lane. And we got to talk about this. Gord not receiving the farm. Is it still fine for him, Wolf?
yes, in a way that all he needs to do is to actually equalize the lanes. At this point, Sans, he just needs to prolong the game. That's what he needs to do.
It feels very adaptive, right? The way that they are actually giving CW these waves. They know that Sans just picked up a kill, so that he can afford to actually give a wave in the mid lane. That's when CW decided to rotate over.
Yeah, this is one of the benefits of having a mid laner that is not farm dependent. But let's look at the items here.
Yep, there's the Hunter Strike that FlatTZ has picked up. The FDP, the full damage Paquito, and it's gonna be
look at this.
utilized up top.
A lot of damage onto Boots, and Implosion committed as well. Boots now caught in the I'm offended. He pops in a penalty zone, flickers out to safety, but should fall. The Decimate finds the kill, and Kyle Teasy will give AP Bren their first kill on the board for game number 2.
But looking at IPHONEX here, they're really trying to trade things off because they're like, okay, if you get 1 kill, we need to get 2. I kind of feel like that's the idea. And the 2 that they got was the buff, as well as CW getting a little bit of farm coming in from that mid lane turret. He's gaining gold fast.
And the thing is, IPHONEX lost their flicker onto Keyboy. It's going to be a massive battle spell to not have for 2 minutes, knowing full well that the 5 to 7 minutes, that is actually the power spike of AP Bren. IPHONEX, despite them leading when it comes to the goal, they should not be that comfortable. And burning Boots as well as Keyboy's flicker, just like that for the trade-off, might not be the best choice.
Not the best choice, but I think that's the only choice that they could have made. AP Bren are doing so well at going for neutral objectives, but also screening the map. They know if IPHONEX want to look for a trade, and they get the more valuable one by calculation. Flicker Implosion, bringing them back. Now the shove. But a Mystic Gush. And he will. Be able.
Proactiveness coming in from AP Bren, but we got to look at Kyrie as well. He just finished his Starlium Scythe. It's just 1 item, but once he gets 2, once he gets 3, it's going to be trouble.
And speaking of trouble, AP Bren already invaded the purple buff that should be belonging to Kyrie. Then they secured their own. They even got a turret up top. And obviously the power spike that we're talking about for AP Bren, we can now feel it. And IPHONEX will really scratch their heads with the flicker being burned out by both Keyboy as well as Boots.
I want to mention as well, even though Sans, he was giving away the lane, he has a goal advantage over few.
Yeah. I guess because of the kills that he was able to get, as well as the assist. But IPHONEX, they don't need to panic. All they need to do now is to defend their lanes. Make sure that the middle is going to be intact. Keyboy and Sans might throw their bodies just to defend that. And then secure the farm onto CW.
And again, looking at the goal earned here, CW is number 1, Super Marco is number 2. But looking at IPHONEX here, the way that they've been moving around the map, it's like they're not sacrificing too much for helping out CW.
Yeah, now they've actually lane swap, decided to do that. AP Bren feels very happy to do that. FlatTZ 1v1 against CW. Battle Mirror Image going to be used on FlatTZ. Knockout strike, 1 more shot, blazing too wet from CW. No battle spells used up just yet. AP Bren in the bottom lane. That's a penalty zone connecting on the Oakwood, but he gets a massive shove onto 3. Kyrie walks out with the electrifying beat. Super Marco dishing out damage on the Boots. I'm offended. Into a Decimate. Kyrie with a retribution. He misses it, but Kyle doesn't. He finds another. Keyboy falling. Solid in the lane. Pressured down on his own tier 1. Kyrie looking to clear out the waves. That's a dive angle from AP Bren. A Decimate, and Kyrie will still be able to walk away. Super Marco gets a big goal on top. CW 1v1 against FlatTZ. Battle Mirror Image going to be used on. Knockout strike 1-2. CW takes the 1v1.
Hey, why did you bring a gun to a fist fight, man? CW was playing unfair, but we got to look at the items here.
Yep.
IPHONEX, what's happening here, Wolf?
Well, it's a massive snowball. The Radiant Armor picked up. It's the first time for Kyle Teasy. That paid dividends, and now he's going to be tanking through IPHONEX damage.
Mortal Coil, but a penalty zone will be used in time. Kyle Teasy going for the bang! He turns it around. The shutdown goes to the roamer. I would say that's still a win for AP Bren.
IPHONEX right now making mistakes. We saw the mistake just now. Kyrie unable to secure the turtle. Good thing by AP Bren, they actually reset it so that the retribution was not enough. Now what does IPHONEX have to do?
Well, IPHONEX will just have to defend once again. Very unfortunate that CW was the one that got picked off. That was great play coming out from Kaltizi with the blade armor as well, because IPHONEX was trying to run him down, but he lasted for such a long time that AP Bren was able to trade it off. With the Radiant armor as well as blade armor picked up by this Kaltizi Martis. Now you know that they have the snowball. Definitely needs to secure the first Lord for AP Bren for sure.
It was just luck. It was just a mistake.
Holy.
I'm not going to lose the next one.
I got this, says Kyrie. Brings me back to the time where I was able to work with this man.
Wow. Wow.
Just wow.
Wow.
What a steal.
What a steal. That's what we're wowing about.
Every time he's doing that, back in his younger days, you know, he would scream, "Di mo kaya sa retrian," which means you cannot out-retry me.
Ooh.
You can.
Everyone wants to dive, and the Gord, he's playing the best defense is offense.
Yeah.
The best cover is if my team dives in and I deal free damage.
Yeah, because looking at this game, it reminds me of a Dicky, an alarm time bomb. Because right now, AP Brand, hoot. MC Facts, Sky King.
Wow. Well,
This-
I guess
wow.
he's saying it's true.
This is
Yes.
not a Lord confirmed. It's a Lord steal.
Steal.
8 times.
8 times.
In M5.
And this is the season, or this is the M series where a lot of people are saying, you know, Kyrie's retry is not as good.
It's so-so.
It's so-so. This is so-so, apparently.
Dude.
8 steals is so-so. Oh my goodness.
Okay, maybe when we hit double digits, maybe that's the threshold the people are looking for.
my
Maybe they,
You're the Sky King, aren't you?
yeah, maybe they didn't finish their sentence so good, right?
Okay, here's the thing. You want to know my reasoning of why it's only 8 times?
Why?
Because they've been dominating the map so much.
You're right.
They
Wait.
don't have the opportunity to steal. They just claim it for themselves.
And still 8 times.
So only a few teams give Kyrie the opportunity to even steal it because they started it.
And to think that they're dominating so much that they actually don't lose so much games. Actually, their only loss might be against Blacklist, right? And one
Yes,
against
yes.
In the knockout stage.
the knockout stage.
Wait, in the entire tournament, the only game that they lost.
They had another 3-1, I believe.
No,
Remember
it was-
the 1-1 from See You Soon? Where they were a turnaround?
Hey, look,
I
man,
believe it was 2-0, bro.
I got ADHD. I can't remember anything much, but right now we're looking at the players again. Thank you very much to all the audience here in the venue as well as watching at home. We are gonna provide the best, I would say, services for the players to make sure that they are having a good time in game. But either way, right now, again, AP Brand, back to the topic.
Yep. No losses from Onyx.
They've only dropped to the
against
2 PH teams. 2 games against Blacklist, 1 game so far in AP Brand.
Yep.
The Atas Langit Adonic.
Yep.
That's how you beat the Sky Kings.
What does
you
that
gotta
mean?
be untouchable.
What does that mean?
There's the sky, and then above that, there's Onyx.
Yeah, that's basically the
Yeah, the Atas Langit Adonic.
Above the skies,
There's
where
Onyx.
Onyx lay.
flashback to MSC 2021. That's the gist of it. LaFell, you just gave us the gist of it.
You know what? The first time I met you, that was the first thing you said to me.
Yes.
The gist of it.
And now you know why. Why we're working together now.
That's where our friendship began.
We got that
With the
connection.
gist of it?
Yeah, the gist of it.
Our connection is special, guys.
Yes,
agree.
we are special indeed. In fact, this whole desk is special.
Yeah. With a special connection as well. That's right. That's the title of the podcast.
Oh,
With
my
beer-
God. He had to go there. He had
Okay.
to go there. He
Check
went from
out-
soft selling to hard selling.
Check out YouTube, find Wolf, and you'll be happy. Now,
That's right.
I want to be happy too.
Me too.
AB Brand right now, is there a good chance that they can end this game in the next 10 minutes?
There
Because
is a
in my
great
head,
chance.
that's the timeline.
There is a great chance, especially if they keep their. I think they have they still have their battle spells, so that means that even in this Lord push, they're gonna be able to defend and then try to make maybe take turtles, and they have the Bruno reaching the critical mass. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, they do.
Oh, here it is. Top player KDA in M5. Wow.
Wow, even Hoon's there. So 14.92 for Sans.
TLB.
14.08 for CW. Even though TLB didn't make it, but Hoon has been spectacular with his KDA.
Kyrie's not here, but Hoon is.
Hoon is here.
Kyrie.
So does that
is
mean
he.
Hoon is better?
He is he.
Hey, numbers don't lie.
Numbers.
don't lie.
So Sagan is top 5 players in M5.
let me just say, Onyx might be looking at Hoon.
Onyx may be looking at Hoon.
Who knows, man? Hoon is showing up.
No,
Okay, fine. Maybe not Onyx. Maybe BTR. I don't know.
maybe that's a reach, but
Yeah, now the question is, right, like, is it stat padding or is it legit?
It's legit, man.
Okay.
I think if M5 or any M series is a difficult tournament to kind of stat pad, bro.
Double digits KDA, man.
Yeah.
Almost 14.92.
Shoutouts to Mobazane. He must be loving this asset right now while he's restreaming.
Yep.
Dude, you know what? Shout outs to Mobile Zen. Shout outs to all the restreamers out there. Maybe you guys don't hear this enough, but we love you.
Yeah, you're the real MVP.
No, I think we are. Anyways. Again, looking into this game, Onyx has a chance because talk us through this, Mirko, the scaling of the Joy as well as the Claude. Oh, and with that, we are going into the game, but you can still talk about it.
All right, so the scaling, right? I mean, for the Claude, it's going to be amazing towards the later stage of the game. You deal so much DPS. Whoa! Just as I say it, the Mirror Curse is real, man. I say his name and he dies. I'm Flap Teasy gets knocked out.
To the family of CW, I'm sorry I mentioned it.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. We're
Damn.
special.
And with Flap TZ not even having to commit the flicker. That's going to be a... I don't know what happened, but that's going to be great for AP Brand. They must be feeling great right now. And now, what they can do is to control the long lane once again with Flap TZ, then just continuously siege against AP Brand.
Right now, Ogwen is looking for a target. Sans able to stun him up. Looking at the position here, Ogwen is going to figure out where the majority members of Onyx is. Having Kyle TZ as well as Few there, they are in position to follow up whenever necessary. But the more important one is, look at Flap TZ. He's hiding.
He is. He's doing a good job at it too right now. And Kyle Teasy is just going on to the purple buff, trying to steal away. A good steal back, or I would say recovery from Onyx there. Was a stun Mystic Projectile into Kyrie's retreat.
That's right.
Looking at the goal here, even though CW has died twice, Super Marco hasn't died at all. Only a 300 goal difference. That's impressive.
The 2 waves, I believe, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. The double lane setup that was given to CW. And the fact that they're defending mid, this is the most important resource now for IPHONEX. Getting the mid lane intact means that you will have access to your jungle so much easier. And that means also that you can position yourself around the Lord later on.
Yeah, losing the side lanes is like losing a sock. And then
sock.
losing the mid lane is like losing a shoe. You can still wear a shoe without a sock, but you cannot wear a shoe with a sock without a shoe. Wait, what?
I think you can. But yeah, we get it. We
Okay,
get it, right? The
listening-
mid lane is more important.
Listening from the crowd, I guess we can.
Yeah, we can. We
All
can.
right.
we
Thank you,
can.
crowd. Thank you.
Sometimes you got to get them to correct us, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm running out of ideas. What can I say? Special.
I think Mirko wears his expensive shoes without the socks.
Hey, don't get to that, right? Kyrie now trying to steal it. Oh, he doesn't get it. Kyle Teasy takes it away, snatches it away from Kyrie's hands.
Hey, by the way, Super Marco went for the RGA Rose Gold Meteor. It's going to be perfect versus the aggression that can come from Kyrie.
Yeah, but now the Lord dance has begun. We got to talk about AP Brand 1.3k gold lead. IPHONEX here, they are at a disadvantage. Sans keeps trying to figure out where the members of AP Brand are, and he's been finding them. Looking at the HP as well, AP Brand, they are chunk down just a little bit because Kyle TZ has been absorbing the damage coming in from the Lord. Keyboy, can he find a good opening here?
Kyle might have to reset this. CW's walking up right now. Kyle Teasy finds a good pinch down, but CW takes in a half HP. Boots doing the same thing. Mortal Coil used up defensively. Kyrie takes control of the Lord. They're not going to look to reset it. I'm offended into the Mystic Gush, into the Blazing Duet as Boots distracts the back line. Few very, very low. Not going to be chased down. Kyrie finds a double kill right now. Kyle Teasy is going to be forced to use the Mortal Coil defensively. Flap Teasy went for the hills. The Mystic Projectile connects at max range, and Kyle Teasy falls. Now Flap Teasy was looking for an angle to maybe turn this around, but IPHONEX, they've taken 3 members down from AP Brenner looking for the Lord.
Run by us. Whoa, what happened there? How did IPHONEX immediately take control?
It was the Lord Dance and the bait and switch that you saw coming out from CW went in forward so that he will force some rotation from AP Brand. In fact, 2 people followed him afterwards, and that's how they were able to get it. By the way, the underrated factor of the Gourd... Ouch.
Ow, man!
Yep. The underrated factor for the Gourd is that he can clear the left bush mid with just 2 spells, and you can scout out where your opponents are.
Shove. Ogwen has no dash now. CW battle mirror image to the front. Ogwen forced to flicker out. Flap Teasy! One shot with a nature. Flap Teasy gets out just barely, but CW does the same thing. Oh man, 7-7, game number 2.
Dude, IPHONEX has been waiting. They waited for CW. They waited for Kyrie. Look at the items now. This is the power spike they were looking for.
So the 3 items now onto Keyboy. That means that he is not easily taken out. You can see that CW eventually gets to the Wind of Nature and the Malefic Lore.
Dude, right
all
now,
about
listen to the
defense.
crowd. It's all for AP Brand. They're still looking at AP Brand to defend this, but IPHONEX, with just one more dance, it was 1,000 gold lead for AP Brand.
Mystic
Now it's
Gush.
2.7 for them.
Implosion only onto Keyboy. That's the roamer for the team. Kyrie with electrifying beats. Keyboy finds it offended on the Super Marco penalty zone. Dodged away from it. The knockout strike brings Boots back to the turret for AP Brand to do what the crowd's been chanting. Defend!
Right now, IPHONEX, they are trying their best to get the resources coming in from AP Brand. They wanted the structures, but AP Brand, how did they do that? How did they defend so well?
That was the Ogwen.
Oh, right onto Calteezy, blazing duet! Nature gonna use that Mystic Gush as well! It's a bait! Sans flickers out of the shove. Ogwen, stunned up. Kyrie walking up against 3 members. Looking for the dashes. One more should be able to do it right now. Calteezy gonna be taken low. But Kyrie decides to stop.
That was crazy.
That's crazy, Sans.
You can see the damage output now from coming up from Kyrie as well as Sans is they really do hurt now. And the thing with Gourd is that even when it's a defensive kind of hero and it's strong at when he's able to land his spells, it still is a pretty good scaling hero as well. The Impure Rage versus the spells that he has and the items that he picked up, Sans will be a threat in the latter portions of the game as well.
Looking at the damage dealt here, Flap TZ was number 1, but Sans was able to overcome him. And again, he has been absorbing less minions, less minion gold, just because he's sharing it with CW. And now, IPHONEX, I would say this is their win condition, no?
Definitely. We're reaching the point where they're stronger.
I'm offended. Flicker already.
Oh,
you
no.
keep burning this away from Ogwen, and now what do they use to catch? They practically can't. Kyrie dashes forward. Forces that mortal coil, even pops in that electrifying beats.
Oh, that's a problem for AP Bren. That flicker was the sole reason why they were able to defend the bottom lane and get 2 kills afterwards. And now that the Lord is going to be available for both teams, I mean, if you're looking at the Flaptizis making the lane pushed against Onyx, but not having the flicker implosion, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, right now, the Lord Dance is started by AP Bren again. We got to remind ourselves that Onyx was able to win it out with CW using himself as bait and then giving the opportunity for Onyx to bite back, to go in, to get an engage, and dish out the damage.
And now it's Onyx. We're holding it in despite Joy being seen in the top side of the map. They still want to go for the Lord Dance right now, and CW's damage. He's definitely scaled. Conceal play. Keyboy finding with the position of Super Marco. Caltizi forcing his way in. Ogwen looking for the back right now, but Caltizi, his immortality is going to be popping down. That's a retribution from Kyrie. Super Marco free hitting in the back. Boo's going to be taken very low, and that's going to be a lot of damage placed down, but Kai jumps to the back with the electrifying beat. Super Marco, one last shot. Should do it, but he's unable to find it. Only an immortality. Burnt down for AP Bren. They're looking for more into the mid lane. A good stun to take Flaptizi lower, but he still has the immortality. Mystic Gush trying to predict the maneuvers from Flap. But for Onyx and AP Bren, who wins it?
Definitely Onyx getting that Lord. But good thing for AP Bren is that they only lost their immortality in exchange for the turret in the middle. So they're still trying to get some kind of trade. And AP Bren, unfortunately, with just Caltizi manning the front lines, it's not enough. You see the damage output from Onyx. It's always a threat. Everybody's a threat now from Onyx.
Yeah, but Keyboy taking quite a lot of damage. And speaking of threats, man, I'm looking at Super Marco. The damage that he dished out was a lot.
Yes.
Onyx, they have to respect it. I gotta say, either CW or Kyrie, they gotta find a way to get to Super Marco and take him down.
A mistake and a costly one. AP Bren with Kyle Teasy. He's looking for more. The Mystic Projectile stops Kyle. Whew. But that's a big, big kill in the 19th minute of the game.
And Onyx, whatever playstyle they're doing with CW, it worked in some of the moments, but in that crucial one, it didn't. What I'm trying to say is, CW in the first Lord fight, he went for the min-max play where he's trying to bait out AP Bren and become very aggressive when it comes to his positioning. It paid well during the first Lord, but not in the second one.
All right, electrifying beats and mortality. Now winner truncheon bot. Flaptizi buying a lot of time. Ogun running in with a conceal. Implosion flicker onto Kyrie, but he buys the immortality. Now few with the damage as well. Boots still terrified down. I'm offended by few. Kyrie walks away. Keyboy does the same thing. Super Marco sliding tackle. Onto the front. Keyboy brought back to the team. Immortality still ready. He buys it in time. Kyrie looking for the flags. Kyrie looking for the electrifying beat damage, but he won't be able to find it. AP Bren maneuver out of a team fight. Have won.
This is the best players in the world. Do one mistake, and it feels like 10. Onyx, after CW made a crucial mistake, AP Bren controlled the map. AP Bren won that fight.
Wow. They have equalized when it comes to the economy. And even after Flaptizi had to utilize the winner truncheon, it was just a ploy for AP Bren. The rest of the members get back. It looked really dicey though. Ogwen might have been like far too early. They see few not in range, but eventually Caltizi was there. AP Bren squad were able to find something, even in this stage where Onyx has a lot of strength with their items, with their natural scaling.
Yeah, looking at how AP Bren has been positioning as well, you need eyes in the back of your head, man, because the flank coming in from Kyle TZ and Flap TZ as well, it's like whenever you're focusing, something else is going on.
That's a lot of damage, but Flap should be able to sustain back up. He pops the regen, and he goes onto the waves. Does he have a bloodlust?
Probably.
He doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
I don't think so.
I think it's all from the Festival of Blood.
And the RGM.
Yeah, RGM, for sure. So now, looking at CW, we have... Okay, right now we got to talk about this. CW is the aggressor. He's the bait. But here's the thing, man. Wait, do they not know? Okay, Kyle TZ sees it.
They see it. Flaptizi sees it too, but he might be too late right now. They're going to go on to Caltizi. Burst him down. Kyle will lose his life. A shutdown for Boots. Keyboy zoning down the members. Boots! A penalty zone on the Super Marco. Holding him back. Now Flap joining the team fight. But an explosion to the back. CW finally lays into Webber. Flaptizi goes in for the punches. A lot of damage plays down. Super Marco free hitting from the back. That's a lot of damage down. Keyboy finds that I'm affected. Super Marco loses immortality. Keyboy will not lose his life. AP Bren, they're still able to sustain back up. Super Marco, no flicker though. Kyrie looking for the assassination, looking for a play. Super Marco steals some life back with that house claws and is able to defend.
Don't offend K-Boy!
Oh my goodness.
K-Boy goes in and he's gonna bring all you in!
A big shot, but an even bigger shot from Kyrie. CW picks the base turret in the mid lane down. Now Ogwen, one member left standing. Kyle Teasy gonna be back in 4 seconds. Ogwen melted down by CW. Evolve Lord still crashing in the bottom lane. IPHONEX taking their time. Kyle Teasy holding it down, going for the wave. What? Lord went back and forth. Mystic projectile onto Ogwen, dodge away from Mystic. Gosh, I'm offended. Kyle Teasy melted down again. And now it's gonna be 2 members in desperation going in. 1 second on the flap Teasy. Who expected a full reverse sweep? It will never have happened in the M5 Grand Finals. We're back to equal on the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your attention here. There is no such thing as a clean sweep in the M5 World Championship. We're starting this series with a 1-1.
And we ended that game with a wonderful display of duel of mechanics from both of the teams, with Keyboy and Ogwen making their own plays. But in the end,
oh my goodness!
We've done it.
We've
done it.
3 million.
3.4 million.
That
Wow.
deserves a clap, everyone.
Thank you very much to all the audience here, as well as you guys watching at home. And let me just say, this deserves it. This is the beginning of an amazing grand finals.
I'm sure.
A lot went on. Back and forth. Pendulum swings. We need the help of the panelists. Leo and Gideon, you gotta help us out here.
We'll do more than help you out. We'll actually break down this game. Again, IPHONEX showing exactly why they are a force to be reckoned with. On the road to claiming the Golden Road. Going past 20 minutes, taking availability into their own hands. What a game.
Truly a beautiful game here from both of these teams. We saw some really good moments, but more importantly, the adaptations in the draft as well has been spot on. We're really seeing these teams target each other in the most painful areas, finding those pressure points to make the difference, to find those advantages in the game.
In addition to the draft, again, forcing AP Brent to respond a certain way, play a certain way. Come execution, IPHONEX is second to none. The way that Keyboy and Sans would set up an almost just 2-man kill squad that would force out resources from AP Bren, flickers, ults being spent out. It just compromised what AP Bren wants, especially in the late game.
Absolutely, right? But before we even get to the late game, turtle fights were already a bit of a struggle. We did see that IPHONEX was struggling in the first couple of minutes, and all of this coming down to the flexibility of Super Marco as well as Flapteezy. Full damage Paquito as well, swapping the two and making sure that once he has that full item and having an early game marksman, gives them the flexibility of deciding who gets to participate in these upcoming turtle fights, not Lord fights, turtle fights. Because if Mr. CW knows anything, once Flapteezy had 2 items, he was definitely in the danger zone.
And that's why throughout the early to mid, it was clear that AP Bren was still playing with fire. They had dynamite in their hands, and by dynamite, I meant a Filipino cannon. But that Flapteezy gambit can only do so much, because as you'll see throughout the highlights, he was positioned in a way that if only IPHONEX were to bite down onto the bait, if only IPHONEX were to be fooled by what he was trying to do, then it would work out. That aside, he was just a flanking XP laner. We're gonna award our MVP for game number 1, putting 1 on the board for IPHONEX. It's game number 2. We're giving it over to Gilak Sans.
Oh my goodness, this guy is still crazy as ever in his name. He's playing a difficult position. Mid lane, yes. Did he get his comfort pick? Well, you would make an argument for it, but Gord, especially once you're up against a Tigreal, especially when you're up against a Paquito, your positioning must be crisp, smooth, and most importantly, clean.
Looking at his item build, something might be sticking out to you folks. That is indeed a Guardian helmet. Something tells me this was but a result of a juggle. This is an item that was built in the heat of battle, wherein this battle mage, this Gord, which has, I don't know if you'll read it the same way as I did, respectfully replaced Eve and Farsa. He's weaving out of combat. When you go into the late game and you're taking damage, the way that Super Marco's throwing out them balls, you're gonna want to space out and then come back.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the combination of Keyboy and as well as Sans is what's most important here, right? Keyboy is going to try and slow down and peel people away from Sans' position because Sans is the safe haven. He is the person that they can fall back to when all hell breaks loose. Because once they get hit by a single projectile, a single CEC, whew, that gush makes all the difference. You'll see your health bar go from 100 to 0 in no time.
And it's because of what Sans is putting on the board that's actually making AP Bren's movements all the more awkward. You see Kyle TZ here building full tank Martis. Even he can't stand in front of the gush, so he has to be choosy. He has to choose and pick which angle to come from. See, look at this, pow! Flap TZ coming in like he had to dodge. So again, those little micro adjustments compromise AP Bren's approach.
I mean, we eventually have to come to that one big fight at the end, right? What everybody was hoping that it was going well, right? You're hoping that Keyboy is going to get punished in these small moments. You're hoping that Kyrie gets into that backline, but it really boiled down to one fight, especially once things got super even. The 3-man I'm offended that saved it all. Even prior to that, the blockage of the champion stance jabs from Flap TZ, literally making all the difference.
And it seems like now we're looking at a new roaming matchup. In the series, we're just at 1-1. Real quick, Gideon, come on over. I want to talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
You know who got the MVP here? The Season 11 MVP of MPLID.
Dude, I heard that this guy, he moved from jungle back into mid.
He was once in a rivalry against Kyrie. And
What?
Since then, Season 9, he had a 100% win rate on a Fanny.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's Gilak.
That's Gilak? He's Gilak Sans. But when we look at the overall emblems, we see how some of these small moments make the difference, right? Number one, right down here. Guys, the laning has changed. It has evolved to a certain degree. Master Assassin on both side laners. This is what's making the difference. And this is why Mr. CW gets one shot even in the later stages of the game.
He was playing the defensive emblem, the tenacity. That's why he was so open about his BMI. It was so generously used to save himself from both Flap TZ and Super Marco, which was fine because it was actually Onyx frontliners that was compromising AP Bren. That's why he was okay to just work on the waves and then come in, deal the initial damage so that Sans and Kyrie can clean up. That's why maybe there's a lot of magic defense items from AP Bren.
And even so, right? You gotta think ahead. You gotta start thinking like a scientist. The mad scientist himself, ending the game with the Guardian's Helm. Again, you don't expect to see your mage decide to go for this item, other than the fact that Mr. Flap himself, or arguably, if he did get caught by Ogre, which is the worst case scenario possible, he had an opportunity to live. With the extra HP, maybe that's all they needed.
It's this that's actually really frustrating for AP Bren. I could imagine there was a solid amount of time when they were in the lead and that it seemed like the Lords belonged to them. But that's why their long lane control relied so much onto Flap TZ getting it right, because not a single Lord went their way. With that said, you're looking at the post-game stats here. A lot of damage coming in from CW. This is spread out between heroes and waves. You have CW also farming his mind out, 803, and Kyle TZ using his iframes, using his build, and just hopping in and out of combat to be AP Bren's sandbag.
I mean, that's just the next level after you've been practicing your mind out, right? And we've a look at the damage taken. Kyle, he understands his role, and the same goes for Ogwin. They're the punching bag of this team as much as you would like to believe, but even more so, Good Guy Boots is throwing away his life, and I would make an argument that it's an interesting trade. He's using the penalty zone to start off fights, to slow people down, just so that Kyrie can even the score, and more importantly, be able to prioritize neutral objectives.
Check this out. CW was actually third in most damage taken from Onyx Indo. And what that means is he almost just barely gets away with his life. And that's because of his smart use of his battle spell and his BMI. Now back to the damage dealt story. Of course, a lot of it was on Super Marco, a lot of it was on Few, but when you're playing with a lineup that actually compromises your spacing, which the Valentina is very reliant on, it's kind of hard to lean on that. It makes Few play only a certain way when Onyx allows for it.
And the worst part, once you start playing into these lore dances, information is super important. And unfortunately for Few, his abilities are quite short range if you're comparing it to the extra bounces that you get from the Mystic Projectile at times. And that's what's really frustrating, because people who need to open up the map risk themselves putting their lives on the line just to figure out where is Sans.
So with that said, you're gonna have to wonder what's gonna go down in game number 3. How are they going to adjust? Because truth be told, despite what happened in the draft, despite how long this game went, and where Onyx actually pressed down on the pressure points for AP Bren to fold in this way, again, they went the distance, 22, 23 minutes. What's AP Bren to do? Again, it's not like there's anything wrong clearly with their approach.
I think this is one of the few situations whereby somebody has to take a back seat. And in this particular game, they have very similar win cons. Take away the trigger finger, make sure that you burst down your targets, and you've got to win, right? But I think specifically for Few, when he's going up against someone like Gilak Sans, he has to go toe-to-toe now. He knows that Gilak Sans has too much of a pull. Maybe there's somebody else that they could target. Maybe they could be looking into CW's side, right? Or if that's too much to ask for, maybe Good Guy Boots needs to get put down a peg.
If you beat down on Good Guy Boots, it's got to be more than just beating the lane up. That's exactly what happened in Game 1. If Game 1 was any indication that by attacking Boots, you get some payoff, then that's just half of the solution, half of the way towards a winning strategy. If that's what AP Bren does once more in game number 3, then there has to be a follow-up, because Coach Eb and Coach Addy, they're always a step ahead.
Yep, it's spilling influence. It's converging down into the jungle. That's how it always happens. Start from the EXP, melt it down into the jungle until the mid lane gets affected too.
With that said, we'll throw it over to Marakino. She's with the crowd here in Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Let's see what they're up to. You're watching the M5 Grand Finals.
It is 1-1 for AP Bren and Onyx. Now I want to hear, where are the AP Bren fans? Let me hear it from Onyx. Okay, I think the Onyx fans in here need a little bit of help. So how about we call Clara, all the way from Indonesia,